Developing tonight, a grand jury has indicted 2 people for running a brothel in a Denver neighborhood.
And neighbors tell us they are in shock that this was happening so close to their homes. Denver7's Ivan Rodriguez joins us live from police headquarters. Ivan, this is the first time the DA has used financial crimes to indict alleged traffickers.
And Shannon, good evening. The DA and police department say by following the money from a Denver home to Chinese bank accounts, they were able to build a case without needing the trafficked women to testify. Now, neighbors who I spoke with say they never saw this coming. In a neighborhood near Federal and Ellsworth, people are asking questions about what was going on inside a neighbor's home.
You think you know your neighborhood and you really don't.
Milda Quintanar has lived in her home for 20 years and says she would notice cars parking along the street and alley, but still, it was quiet.
They were pretty quiet. You never saw a lot of noise. People coming as far as in and out, in and out. I just saw a lot of vans parked. I had no idea something like that was going on in that house.
The district attorney's office alleges these 2 people, Zoli Gao and Zhang Wei Zhang, were running a brothel out of their home. They are both facing several charges, including pimping and money laundering.
We have the pimping charge, but we also are charging under the Colorado Organized Crime Control Act, which allows us to use in which we use financial data. And so this is kind of a new thing for us in the human trafficking realm to be able to trace the money.
It's kind of weird. I thought it was like a meth house or something, or like a drug house. I did not expect it to be a brothel. That's insane.
The DA says they spoke with at least 6 women in the case between the ages of 40 and 60. All women were from China and have returned home. Live at DPD headquarters, Ivan Rodriguez, Denver7.
Wow, incredible. Thank you, Ivan. Denver police have made an arrest in the killing of a 17-year-old last year. Diego Marquez was found shot to death at Green Valley West Ranch Park back in September, and police didn't have any suspects. Well, they say they now have arrested another juvenile male for the attack, and that person is being held right now for investigation of first-degree murder.
And police are looking for a car that was involved in a deadly hit-and-run in Aurora this morning. It happened just after 6 a.m. at 17th and Peoria. Officers say right now they're looking for a maroon Chevy Malibu, model years somewhere between 97 and 2003. And Aurora police are asking anyone with information to please give them a call.
And the woman accused of helping carry out the murder of Kelsey Barrett will be sentenced tomorrow. Crystal Lee Kenny took a plea deal last year to help prosecutors convict Barrett's fiancé, Patrick Frazee, for her death. She pleaded guilty to tampering with evidence in exchange for testifying against Frazee. Now, during tomorrow's hearing, the court will hear about Kenny's actions surrounding Barrett's death. Kenny, as you know, was Frazee's mistress and took investigators around his ranch, showing where she helped him get rid of Kelsey Barrett's body. Kenny faces a maximum sentence of 3 years. Tonight, the coronavirus continues to cause concern here in Colorado. 2 patients have tested negative, another person's results still pending.
But the illness is still a real problem threatening other parts of the country and certainly the world. Denver7's Sean Toll talked to a Colorado man who's living in the center of this epidemic.
I've been here for almost 7 years now.
Max Seward moved to China to teach English.
Actually, I met my wife, and so that's why I've stayed here ever since.
The Louisville native lives in Wuhan, which is at the center of the coronavirus epidemic, and a place he says many people back home didn't even know about until this.
Well, we were kind of joking about it because a lot of people have never heard of Wuhan until now. It's infamous.
A city of 11 million people under quarantine for about 6 days now.
It adds kind of like a psychological component where we don't really know how bad the virus is.
Thousands diagnosed in Wuhan so far. So
they officially announced they were stopping flights and trains out of Wuhan.
They also banned driving private vehicles, advised against leaving your house if necessary, and if you do, you gotta wear a surgical mask.
Another thing is we have a daughter and she's 4 months old. That's our main concern.
That makes it so much tougher right now.
It's definitely something we still worry about, even though we take precautions. We're still thinking, oh wow, who knows what the situation will be 5 days from now. All of this is so surreal.
Seward says they're basically stranded. He's been using social media to communicate with family back in Colorado, and he's hoping to get out of the quarantine soon, but
we're going to be here for the long haul. I think it might be a month or 2 even, from what I've heard.
He and his family will lay low as long as it takes, because he knows what he wants to do next.
So as soon as all this blows over, that'll definitely be like priority number one, try to come back.
And hopes the only illness he gets is cabin fever. Sean Toll, Denver7.
Boy, we wish them well. And the State Department has issued a travel advisory to China, warning people to avoid all non-essential travel to the country and not to travel to that province at all.
They sold an antique but never got the cash.
I can't let it go. It's not right.
Tonight, Contact 7's getting results for the local couple who say they were left high and dry.
Fighting misinformation. How a local school is training students to help spot fake news.
Man, they do. Well, they do that with all their people, you know.
So silly.
Something that happens in Asia, but you just stay in New York. Today marks 75 years since the liberation of Auschwitz.
Holocaust survivors and world leaders came to the site today. Of course, a former Nazi camp. They laid wreaths and remembered those killed during World War II. Nazi Germany set up this camp in occupied Poland in 1940. More than 1 million people, most of them Jewish, died there in gas chambers or from disease.
Tonight, Contact 7 is getting results for a Centennial couple who say an auction gallery closed without sending them a check for a sale they made. Vanessa Holmes says they sold an antique armoire to Bruin's Auction Gallery. And Holmes says she even attended the auction and watched someone buy it, but hadn't gotten the money or heard from the owner.
I believe in integrity and doing the right thing. This gentleman has not followed through. He's not done the right thing.
Well, today, Holmes says she finally received an email from the owner, Tom Bruins, and he apologized for forgetting their check and asked for their address. This week is News Literacy Week, and here at Denver7, we're taking on this initiative with the News Literacy Project and our parent company, EW Scripps.
We're working with schools on student-produced stories to help raise awareness of news literacy. Denver7's Russell Haythorne takes us behind the scenes of the project today at Thomas Jefferson High School.
Yeah, here at Thomas Jefferson High in Denver, journalism students are learning how to decipher real news from fake news. News literacy is something they take seriously, right, Ryan?
That's right. With social media platforms such as Twitter, you have to be very careful about what's authentic and what is bogus.
Come on inside as we give you a behind-the-scenes look at how we, the next generation of journalists, are committed to getting it right.
We try to find stuff that's like not too political and then not like too tragic, but like just interesting news.
We start in the classroom, which operates a lot like a newsroom.
They write their own scripts, they create their own graphics.
Students like Cora Allen and Ryan Moe gather the news of the day.
Ooh, police itching to find out who put bed bugs in Walmart dressing room.
Others like Addie McLean work on graphics and editing.
Snoop Dogg and his new menu at Dunkin' Donuts. The sandwich consists of sausage, egg, and cheese in between 2 glazed donuts.
The snack is titled the Beyond D-O-double-G sandwich.
Faux shizzle.
Thanks for the information. Things like this will help the nation.
Here at TJ, they put together a 10-minute newscast that airs every morning throughout the school. Most segments are recorded in front of a green screen, a process called chroma key, which allows images like their virtual set to be imposed over the green. TV stations use them often.
Yo, TJ.
It's your favorite anchor's back chefing it up in the studio. The man has asked his judge to let him engage in a sword fight with his ex-wife.
Everyone rotates through every role.
We do a daily 10-minute show 5 days a week. I know of a school in Florida, and that's the only other one I know of.
And a big part of their process, just like ours at Denver7, is using reliable and balanced sources.
We talked a lot about dates and if the source has been trusted before.
That includes our own local sources.
An unknown suspect put bed bugs into a changing room in the store.
As well as reputable national news organizations.
We use like CNN and then like Google News, just kind of like gives you everything.
This one comes from Fox News.
Denver7's parent company, Scripps, offers high schools like TJ a resource called Checkology to ensure news integrity. TJ finds support like that invaluable.
Understanding what fake news is and how to focus on integrity.
If it sounds a little fishy, then we scrap it.
They also try to cater to the interests of each student.
I don't know how many other schools you can take a photography class.
I'm not very good at computers or graphic design or anything like that, but I do have a passion for writing. Hey TJ, it's JL from 5280, you already know.
And once they've finished recording,
I'm just going to title it Hispanic.
Content editors and a producer piece it all together.
I put all the components together to make the show as it is sent out to the school.
At Thomas Jefferson High.
Well, we have nothing else to rhyme, and we're all out of time.
Russell Haythorne, Denver7.